And welcome
Hello.
Hello. Making with Becca. It's great to see you guys. Thank you all for coming today.
We're going to do easy stir fry.
Easy peasy stir fry today. Now, most of you are stir fry professionals and they are very, very intricate and fancy. However, today we wanted to provide you with something simple that you can kind of use and then just substitute as needed. This is done with very minimal ingredients, very minimal spices, so that you can dress it up as you see fit. I know for some of you, you use soy sauce. Some of you use, chili paste like we are. We're using hot pepper paste today. And today we are using a very affordable protein. We are using pork. However, you can substitute anything for this. So you can substitute chicken, you can substitute beef, you can substitute tofu, or just have all vegetables.
Yeah, we were going to get tofu. I forgot.
That's okay.
And I called for pork shoulder, but I only found rib and chops for fast frying.
We work with what we got around here, right?
Yeah, we'll cut them into bite-sized pieces, I think.
That's it. How was everybody's New Year? How are you folks doing?
Good.
Good, yeah.
A quiet one. Very quiet.
It was very quiet.
Given what's going on.
Just stay home.
Yes. Given what everybody is doing and what's going on with our numbers, it's no wonder that it was quiet for most of us. But
It was warm too.
was it warm?
It was like 7 degrees. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I wasn't outside very much on those days. I was inside sitting on the couch on my tickets.
Nice.
That's what I do. Actually, that's a lot. I was writing. I wasn't just sitting on my tickets.
You were watching Netflix.
I was also watching Netflix. That is not true. That is the truth. I was on the Netflix. I was also writing away.
I watched a few shows.
Did you? What'd you watch?
The Witcher,
I want to start The Witcher. Did you like it?
the whole second season.
I watched-
In
you know
about
what I
3
watched?
days, yeah. And
I watched the rest of Community.
I don't know. There was a Korean horror show.
Oh, fancy.
Yeah.
There's some really good ones. Koreans have the best horror, I find, and the Japanese horror films are really good too.
Weird stuff.
I
right?
love
Yeah.
it. I love it. So fascinating. But needless to say, friends, we are about to get started here. So we're going to start. Carl, what are you going to do?
I'm gonna either chop almonds or chop peppers.
All right. So
whatever,
we'll give
got a
you
lot of
the
chopping.
ingredient. We'll
Yeah.
give you the ingredients list. So this is a lot of quick, like a bigger prep and then a quick fry, like maybe 2-3 minutes in the pan.
Yeah.
And get it done. So to get started on this, this makes 2 servings. So
I think we're gonna make a bit.
we're gonna
more.
make it double it. Okay, we're gonna double it up. So you need 4 ounces of butter for frying. So, use a tablespoon of butter. Use your judgment depending on how much you're using. You need 2/3 pounds of pork shoulder cut into thin slices. So they're recommending like a 1-inch slice, but you cut it into the slice that you feel good
Yeah,
about.
sometimes I do bite size instead of the long strips, just
Yeah.
because it's easier if you're eating it.
For
with
sure.
chopsticks or-
Then you need 2 chopped scallions. So maybe up to 4 for us. And you need 3 teaspoons of chili paste,
Yeah.
along with 3 tablespoons of chopped almonds and salt and pepper to taste.
Quite a bit of butter, eh?
Yeah.
For the pan.
Can't believe it's butter. I love, it's always better with butter for me.
Yeah.
So what we're gonna do, Carl's gonna jump right on to chopping the accoutrements. I'm gonna get going into the meat. So we kind of have, as Carl said, what is this? This is like
It's like
pork
rib.
chop, rib chops. So
Yeah.
here we go. This is what we got. So I'm gonna go ahead and chop these, and you can see I'm just gonna chop them into,
I'm not so good with cuts of meat.
yeah.
I don't know. I should learn more,
Yeah. Well,
Beef, I know. I don't know if it's different with pork or what's good for what.
I'm gonna chop them into 1-inch slices, which is what they are
Yeah.
calling for here. Let me
Oh,
drop
nice.
that down so you can see the size. And the important thing with this is just that I keep it uniform.
And I'm just doing little almond slivers.
Yeah,
I mean, we could have bought them, but then I'd have nothing to do.
no, then
Okay.
you would have nothing to do at all. So it's better to have something to do for sure. Now, when you folks are making stir fries, what's the first thing you're doing? Are you doing a lot of prep, or do you kind of just like chop and throw it in and go?
A lot of prep.
A lot of prep
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah, I'll get everything ready in bowls, and then it's like pressure's on once you start cooking. Because for me, I just throw everything into the pan, which is usually supposed to be pretty hot,
Yes.
and then I just stir and stir. And sometimes stuff cooks before others. I gotta master that, right?
So in this, like a tip, just a little mini tip before we get to our hot tip of the day, but your mini tip here is to cook your meat first.
Yeah.
Yeah, you cook your meat first because your vegetables always take less time. Why do vegetables take less time to cook?
More water.
That's exactly right. So the more
More
water
time.
there is, the less time you need.
More time.
No, less time.
You sure?
Yes, it'll get soggy if you cook watery stuff too much.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of soggy.
Yeah.
Peppers is good. We could also use broccoli, you know, anything.
So what are the kinds of things that you folks put into your stir fries? Like what do you like to have in there?
Peppers, mushrooms, green onions.
Nice.
Sometimes I'll do garlic or some handfuls of spinach because they just fold up really small.
Beautiful.
It's like a freebie vegetable. You don't even notice it.
Yeah. Spinach is nice.
Yeah.
And I love green onions. Like I'm so glad. I usually put garlic in mine. Stella, what kind of a sauce do you usually do on your stir fry?
Mostly soy sauce or black bean sauce.
Nice,
yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
How much preparation does that take when you're doing a sauce like that? Like how do you prepare it?
Having for what? Prepare?
Yeah, how do you prepare it when you're preparing your sauce, like your black bean sauce or your soy sauce? You're just putting a couple of tablespoons of the sauce on, or how does that work? Do you have to put it?
Oh, you know what? The Chinese way is you heat the oil first, you know, when the oil is very hot, it's hot, and then you put a teaspoon of black bean sauce inside and mix with the oil, and then you put whatever your meat or your veggies, and then you start to stir fry it, and the taste goes into the meat too, you know. Yeah.
Yes.
But if you put black bean sauce, you don't need to put salt because it's already salty enough.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, salt is something you gotta be careful with stir fries.
Absolutely, because it reduces
Or
down.
if you want a little bit sweet, you can put sugar or oyster sauce too. You can mix with oyster sauce.
Makes it a bit thicker too.
Yes. I love oyster sauce. I really love oyster sauce.
Yeah, stir fry is very easy actually for us.
Do you thicken your stir fry with cornstarch or anything, or do you just cook what's there and go with it?
Cornstarch.
Yes.
Cornstarch to make the sauce a little bit thicker, but I seldom do it.
No, we're not going to do that today either. We're going to leave the cornstarch out. Is there anybody on the call who uses cornstarch?
So you just throw it in?
Well, you have to when you're using
the cornstarch. No, not just throw in. You have to mix with water first.
That's
And
exactly.
then you put inside a little bit by a little bit.
Yeah.
Not pour in the whole thing.
Then it would just be a giant lump.
A bit by a bit, yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly right, Stella. I'm now just chopping up the scallions or the green onions, whatever you like to call them. I'm not chopping anything too small here because
That's the thing, right? Because you want a bit of thickness to keep them crispy.
yeah, that's
the
it.
texture.
That's it.
Otherwise,
Because well, you can see I've finished the meat and I've got my 1-inch strips in the
you're
meat
so
there.
fast.
Yeah, I
I
didn't
didn't
cut it.
see that.
I didn't cut it super short because we are honestly going to be stir frying probably fairly quickly.
Mhm.
So we want to make sure that the meat can kind of stand up to the kind of heat we're going to provide it. So I'm going to go ahead and continue to chop
Can
here.
you take the heat?
I can.
You gotta get
Or-
out of the
oh, you gotta
kitchen.
get out of the kitchen. That's right. Now, for me, I would always like crush up some garlic and put it in. Do we have any garlic in
I'm
there?
thinking garlic wouldn't hurt.
Yeah.
Let me check.
Let's see if we have some garlic. So it's not called for in this recipe, but I'm definitely a garlic gal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we love garlic.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah,
love-
you can put garlic and ginger.
Yes, I wish we had ginger, actually.
Oh,
If we had ginger, I would have been right in there with it.
well, you're in luck.
Usually we use a pot tenderloin to
Yes,
stir fry.
pork tenderloin, of course, yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's easier and it can really,
I was looking at the tenderloin. Yeah, it's a little bit more expensive, but that's a good cut, right?
yeah, tenderloin is great. I love that. Thank you,
I
Carl.
don't know, shoulder.
Shoulder is more of a braising, I think. I think you braise the shoulder for a longer amount of time. I'm pretty sure that's what you do. Yeah.
Hope nobody eats my shoulder.
Well, no, I'm
Tenderloin is more tender.
Yes. Indeed, tenderloin is super tender, and it's good for a fast fry, isn't it? It's good for a quick cook. It's not a long cooking protein. It's a short cook because it is so tender and it doesn't shrink up.
Yeah, you slice it. You slice it very thin.
Yes, absolutely.
That's right.
That's right, Stella. Mary, I see you're on the call. Mary Wong today.
Hi, Mary.
Hi, Mary.
Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you? How are you?
Both.
Yeah. I wanted to see, like, what do you usually put in your stir fry?
Stir fry, garlic for sure,
Yeah.
Garlic,
That's
yay.
next, right?
and
Chop up
scallion.
Scallion, that's what we got, right?
Scallions coming
I
right
know.
up here.
Oh, no, I mean that is what they call, is more or less like a onion, but small.
Shallot.
Oh,
Shallot,
Oh,
yeah,
we have
yeah,
one. Let's do
that
it.
one is very good.
Let's do
okay.
it.
We're gonna add the shallot. I'm gonna cry. For some reason, I have this weird allergy to
Yeah.
shallots, but it's gonna happen. Carl's gonna cut the shallot.
So,
I'm not
mix
doing
it in with,
Carl,
Shallot with garlic is
shallot,
excellent.
baby.
yeah, these little guys,
Yeah.
the little cuties.
Yeah.
These little cuties.
Yeah.
It's okay, good.
My eyes, sir. I need my eye protection.
I don't know what's up with you.
I don't know what's up with me and
No,
shallot.
this one is not that terrible.
That's what I
No,
thought.
it's not that terrible, but for some reason, for me, it is. I don't know why. It's not. It's pretty mild.
She's a-
Oh,
But it's almost like, it's funny, I have a strange reaction to shallots, but I love them. I can eat them, like I put them in everything, but I'm always crying. Like
Yeah.
my eyes are always very upset with me later. So here we go. So we've got our scallions here.
I'm gonna add my shallot to.
I will put that a little forward so that at the end you can see everything. So the next thing I'm gonna do is actually
What's up?
just smush up this garlic and then chop it up fine.
Nice.
Yeah, so I'm gonna
You
go
think
ahead and
that's
dice
too
it.
much for cloves?
Well, I don't know. I mean, like if
Why
we,
not for me? I know we're good, but.
yeah, I mean, for us, for our taste, we're gonna use 4 cloves because Carl and I like it spicy
Oh, yeah.
and we like it strong. I've developed a taste since that whole incident with the
I'm gonna
Scotch
add
bonnets.
there.
But certainly, yeah, you can't really hang around Carl too long and not develop a really
You're-
spicy palate.
You're lucky we didn't have any hot peppers left.
Yeah, seriously, thank God we didn't. Can you imagine, Marlene? Oh my God. Yeah. You want one of these?
I'll
Okay.
crack this and-
Here, go ahead. Do 2 of them and I'll do 2. So what I always do, I don't know if the rest of you do this, but I always heel down, crush up my garlic first before I start chopping.
That helps get the
Release,
shell. off, too.
yeah, get the shell off and release those oils, yeah? But Ronnie, do you make stir fries at all?
Yeah, I do. Lately I've been doing kind of a pad thai type, so
Nice.
doing
What
the
kind?
peanut sauce.
Peanut sauce?
Oh. Yeah, with noodles and yeah, so.
That's lovely.
That's a good look.
That is a good looking paste. So you're doing a lot of like kind of sweet and salty flavors, Ronnie.
Yeah, hoisin and soy and lime juice and peanut butter and that
Beautiful.
kind of, yeah.
Any cilantro in there? Because Carl
Uh,
is very afraid if there's cilantro.
You know what?
Well, yeah, is it cilantro or coriander, right?
Yeah.
So,
Oh, I love
yeah.
those.
Yeah.
I can eat it. Not my
mhm,
favorite,
mhm.
but Thai's so good.
Cilantro in soups,
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah.
Thai's good for crazy flavors, right? All it's flavors that you'd think wouldn't work together. And there's always lemon too.
Mhm,
Lemon and peanut and stuff. You're like, wow, that's crazy.
mhm.
That's being good.
So good. So I am just really chopping this
Now
a
we're
little
gonna
finer
dice them?
because
Okay.
I'm dicing these garlic pretty small, friends, only because this is again like a flash fry and we want this to cook fairly quickly. And I don't want to, with the chili paste that we have here, I don't want it to be overwhelmed. So I want to make sure this garlic actually cooks off properly. Thank you. So I'm going to continue to do that.
So
It
good.
smells awesome in here. So now what we're going to
I think
do.
that's enough almonds. I mean, you just want some texture, right? A
I
little
mean,
crunch.
maybe do a little bit more
Couple
on this
more?
because we've really kind of tripled up
It's gonna be a
the
big fry.
ingredients here. So for us, us right now today, what we've done, like Carl says, is we've really tripled up the ingredients because we have staff here today with us that we are going to
Share the wealth. Right?
Share the wealth. But needless to say, I mean, if you're doing this on your own, just stick to the ingredients list that's provided on the screen at the beginning of the video. And it serves two, and then it's hot and fresh.
Yeah.
And you know, you can always make more, put it into containers, and then do it over a couple of days.
You know what I'll do is I'll make the stir fry, and then separately, as I need it, I'll make like a noodle, like instant noodle, throw a little bit on, and then I have stir fry again for tomorrow lunch or something.
For lunch, or you can do like rice and take the rice with you.
Yeah.
Like that's the beautiful thing about this. It can go over rice, it can go over noodles. Stir fry is so flexible
It's like
and adaptive.
it's like chili in a way that the taste gets stronger the next day
It does.
somehow.
Honestly, it's like how I like my spaghetti. I know most people like fresh spaghetti day of. I am the day after spaghetti girl. I like it to sit in the fridge overnight with the sauce, and then I heat it up and I eat it the next day, and I just mow down. That's my jam.
I think that's enough. Eh?
I think that's enough.
We just want a little accent.
All right,
Are
so
we
let's
ready?
take a look. We are ready to get rocking and rolling with our stir pans. Does anybody on the call have any suggestions or tips before we get started? Yeah, so we are now going to take a quick look. Carl, do you want to do a pan of our vegetables? Because honestly, and our ingredients here so that everyone can see. So you just do a pan over so
Onions,
everybody
we
can
got
see.
Green pepper, we got crazy sauce, garlic,
Yep.
some kinds of onions and pork. Oh, and butter. Yeah, we'll have to cut some of that
And
out.
some butter. So we are bringing over here to the pan. Now, Carl, if you could just cut me
How
off.
much?
I do about that much, yep.
Now, if you're using butter instead of oil, you have to
You have
worry
to put a
about
little touch of oil in
you
it.
have to worry about burning, right?
You do. So the first thing we're gonna do before we get started now, I'm gonna use a touch of oil in here already into the pan.
Oh, not that kind.
A little bit,
Okay.
not too
Usually
much. I
sesame
promise you.
oil you add at the end because the flavor
I
burns
know,
off, right?
I know. Well, the flavor's gonna burn off now because I wasn't thinking. He's right, but what we're
So
gonna
you know
do
what, that
is
might actually be perfect because we
Yeah.
got nuts and we're nuts.
we've
Right.
got our, yeah, we are nuts. So we've got our array of ingredients, and the first thing I'm going to
What are
do
you gonna
here,
do?
you can see in the pan, so what, we have a huge amount of, oh, yeah, I
Oh,
can't break
let's
that.
just rip it. You think that's
So-
too much oil?
I
Too
don't
much
think so.
butter?
We have a lot of meat, so what we're gonna do now is just melt down the butter. You can immediately see that this is hot, but not yet hot enough.
Yeah.
For the pan. So your hot tip today, hot tip is, as Stella said earlier, and she's already said this, make sure that your pan is smoking hot.
Yeah.
With any stir fry or anything that you do at home, generally speaking, home cooks do not heat up their pans enough. So what ends up happening is that you get a sear on your meat that isn't seared enough and it's a little bit gray. It's not that nice sealed kind of brown char that you want.
It's hard to get ovens at home to go that hot. I mean, when
It is.
that was the thing about woks, is they're designed for special gas ovens. You know,
Yes,
a
they
wok
are.
on an electric, a wok on a induction is not gonna cook the same. They're designed to hold really high heat. So I'm gonna get a separate pan because we are going to also take our meat out, you said, once we
You know
cook it.
what?
Or
You know
wanna
what?
just-
I think we're just gonna throw it all in. I think we're gonna keep it in.
The way I would do
Do the meat
it, for me,
first.
is like, meat first.
Yeah.
Get it not fully cooked, just a little bit browned, then start adding everything
Yeah.
else. And keep your fingers crossed.
Yeah.
That
So,
nothing gets soggy.
yeah.
So
What
What about garlic? Would you add that now?
The first thing we're gonna add is the chili paste.
Already?
Because we're gonna take Stella's,
We're gonna cook the
Stella's
meat
tip.
in the chili.
We are
Okay.
gonna take Stella's tip today, so
Yeah.
we are adding Stella's tip to our hot tip, and we're gonna put the chili paste in right away.
Do you wanna try and see how hot it is?
I do wanna taste it. Carl, do you wanna taste
Yeah,
it?
you first.
All right, I'm first. All right, so I'm about to taste this chili paste.
I think it's smooth.
Take it, let's just, let me just taste it. I'm taking a little bit.
Yeah. Oh, that sesame oil is so good. That is a lot of butter, my friend.
It is, but it's gonna be delicious. So what I'm waiting for, now the butter is frothing. I want it to be like a little bit brown though. So this isn't that hot. This reminds me of like a smoking hotness.
It's like a chili.
Taste it. Taste that. It's not too bad. It won't bother Carl whatsoever. I'm waiting for this to come up to temp. You can see the butter's foaming, so it's hot, but it's still not hot enough for me.
No?
No, it's definitely not hot enough for me yet.
No, there's a kick in there.
Yeah. There's a little kick.
It's a little Scotch
So
bonnet.
what I'm gonna do while this is happening, while we're waiting for that oil to come up to temp for the meat, is to take a spoonful.
Yeah.
So we're gonna, okay,
Save me
perfect.
some
We're gonna save the spoon. I'm gonna take a spoonful and pop it in. You ready, spaghetti?
Gosh,
Here we go.
gosh.
So immediately, as Stella was saying before, we're gonna add in our chili paste. Here we go.
What about garlic? Yeah.
Yes, put the garlic now.
Becca, now you can add your garlic or ginger, whatever inside.
Yeah.
Shallot, yeah, you can add shallot.
Garlic
Onion.
and salad, yeah.
So here it goes.
Careful now.
Now we have to be careful. You're starting to really smell this. This has got a real hot to trot flavor
Want
here.
some of the meat?
We will in just a minute. I just want to break down this paste into the butter. So what we're doing now is I want to break this down evenly so that it's all kind of evenly spaced over the butter. So you can see we're frothing, we're going. And now I think we're going to be ready to start putting that meat in just a second here. Let me just finish stirring.
A good little mix.
All right, let's go.
Ready?
Get her in.
Let's do this. And we'll
So-
just keep it moving, right?
Keep it moving. Well, except I want to sear it, so I'm gonna let it sit and then flip it.
Flip.
Flip it. So let me let it sit for a second, then I gotta flip it.
The old sit flip.
Sit and flip. Here we go. Flip. You can immediately see the color on the meat is starting to change. Let it sit for a second here. And then we're gonna flip it.
Oh, you know what? That's looking great.
Okay, good. With the chili in there, okay, let it
No,
sit.
I'm just ready with ingredients.
I'm tempted to put some soy, Carl, instead of salt and pepper.
Yeah,
Yeah, what do you
Why
think?
we're already winging it. So
We're already winging it, so we're gonna take another one of our own things, and just a touch of
a
soy,
little dash,
little
right?
dash, that's enough.
Okay, it smells amazing.
Here we go. All right, so we're gonna let that sit for a second.
And then I think onions and all the rest of the business, hey?
Yeah, I think the rest of the business can come on in now.
Any more hot, spicy stuff?
No, I think we're good to go.
Ready?
Here goes the onion.
切洋葱，切东西之前需要一张厨房纸，这样的话能让你的砧板
Who is with us here? So you can see immediately it has a lovely green color here that we've added the shells. We're trying to turn it up real high because we don't want it to stew. The last thing you want with your sauce is for it to stew in the sauce. You just want it to cook in the sauce, right?
This is
So
looking amazing.
it is looking great.
Now,
Get those in there
They're
now.
gonna add some water, that's the
They
thing,
are.
so you're gonna wanna boil that off.
Yeah, we
And
will.
I figure the nuts could just go in because they'll
Yeah, the
just
nuts are gonna
toast.
absorb some of the
These
liquid,
are
so
just
go ahead
raw.
and lock them in.
raw, it's raw almonds.
Yep. Now, I'm fairly confident my meat has cooked. I'm gonna give it another 30 seconds and then I wanna start tasting.
Oh, that's what I wanted to do.
Because
That's the best part.
you need to be able to adjust your spices and your seasonings based on,
I feel like a little more of the paste would hurt, but
let's see.
let's taste.
Let's taste first and then we can decide.
Sure.
So we're just gonna let this kind of cook down for a moment or two.
Yep.
You don't want the bite to come out of the vegetable, as I'm sure most of you are aware of. You don't want to completely stew it.
Can I be honest? The
No.
reason I don't use peppers, and I usually just use broccoli and spinach, is because I find whatever I'm doing with peppers, they go soggy. I don't know what I'm doing wrong, cooking them too low, not thick enough cuts, but we'll see how you go. How is it? Delicious?
It's pretty good. I mean, if you want it to be spicier, you can. Take a taste.
Yeah.
Take a taste.
Okay. Are you just the sauce? Yeah. Or the whole thing?
I feel like maybe a bit more soy than more spice, because the spices get you at the end.
Yeah.
It gets you at the end.
You know, that's got a real.
You can add a little bit sugar,
I like it.
half teaspoon sugar maybe.
Give me a teaspoonful of sugar.
Why not?
We're gonna put some sugar in there,
You know,
Carl.
I was gonna say, well, what's that savory taste? But that's butter. That's just
Yeah, that's butter.
100% butter.
Yeah.
Whoa, it's okay.
Chinese stir fry, they always add sugar.
Well, I'm just
Okay.
adding a little handful.
It's enough.
Yeah, just a touch of sugar is good. She's right. I was thinking about that too, Stella. Usually it's rock sugar, right?
This is professional.
No, this sugar is okay. The
sugar's
white
okay.
one.
We're doing good, I
Okay.
think. Thank you
Good.
for all the tips and all the extra little.
The brown sugar is used for the beef stew.
Okay, how much?
Brown sugar?
Yeah.
Depends how big it is. Just maybe about a tablespoon. Not more than that. Yeah.
We're getting there, hey?
Just
Okay,
taste.
let me get a bowl.
Looks good.
Let's give it a rinse. That was a quick one.
Yeah.
Hold up.
Bowl it up. I'll split it in.
I know it's chilly. Let me close the window.
There we go.
I wasn't sure if it was gonna get smoky in here or not.
Smoky or not, but you can see, like, plating this up here, you can really see like how lovely and thick that sauce looks. And that's all from just, you know, the cook down and I guess maybe the sugar, Stella, and
What a beautiful
the
color
butter.
too, eh?
It's wonderful. And look how quick that was. That was such a quick turnover time there, guys. Super fast and super good. There we go.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yep, there we go. And some there. And
And I
some
think
here.
the sugar helped thicken it up somehow. I don't know.
I think so as well.
It's the perfect consistency. Mine
There we
generally
go.
too watery. or-
Yep, it's a great consistency.
It tastes better with a little bit sugar.
Yeah, it always does. It helps to balance the saltiness, right?
Yeah.
Let me taste this now.
Here.
Giant's food.
Forky.
That's for Robert.
Okay.
Yep, save that for him. All right, you have the taste now, Carl. You tell us how it tastes.
Mm.
Mm,
You know, I could have been.
very good.
At the end, a little bit of sesame seeds on top if you're.
Yeah.
Add a
You
little
can
bit
put
of-
white sesame.
But there you are, and there is your stir fry. It's got a little bit of heat, a little bit of smokiness. That
Looks
sugar
great.
balanced it out. But look at that, all that in a very short time, and then you've got a beautiful, healthy lunch. Now, if you choose not to have this with a carbohydrate, this right here is a keto meal. That means it's a low carb meal.
You will.
Yeah.
But if you want to have it with rice, then you've got the full rounded meal with all of everything that you need, particularly if you're doing weightlifting and you use a brown rice, then you've got everything you need to power you through your next weightlifting session.
You cooked that pork perfectly. by
Oh,
the
did
way.
I?
It's
Oh, thank
juicy,
you.
It's tender,
Yay!
nothing's burned.
Aha.
We did good.
did
First day
good.
back. I thought we were.
Hey,
rusty.
hey,
We are
hey.
fried from shortbreading today, aren't we?
You know, I've had enough cooking for at least half a year, so.
Yes. Now it's time to start eating healthy. And remember, you can actually substitute anything you want in here. You can substitute, you can do a fish stir fry, you can do a chicken stir
The
fry,
tofu, yeah.
tofu, or what?
We should have got some. That would have
Yeah.
been nice to show both.
Just to
but-
show both. But next time, just remember, like you can do this vegan, you can do just all vegetables with the sauce. You can do this vegan, you can do this any way you like.
Mhm.
And honestly, it's a quick and easy meal and it's a
Yeah.
healthy one
Yeah,
too.
there's the guy.
Okay,
That's for you.
so thank you for
You
being
wanna come
here.
say hi?
No, thank you for being here and we love you.
Yeah, I know it
And,
was a short one.
Becca,
Yes,
Becca,
yes,
do we have Pilates at 1:00?
1 o'clock. That is
Oh,
exactly
nice, nice, nice.
right.
You will do it in person or put on the
In person
YouTube?
Today.
In
Yes, we're
person.
all
Okay,
back in
good.
person now.
You know what,
Thanks.
though? At
No
least
problem.
We gotta keep these Zoom shows going, especially if
Yes.
everybody's stuck at home. you know.
Absolutely. We're
So-
back at it, but please like keep coming because we're gonna keep being
Yeah,
here.
check the schedule and
Yeah.
we'll be doing a good job with the shows. If you,
Absolutely.
any ideas for baking next week or should
Oh,
we surprise
yes.
you? Yeah.
Yes. Any suggestions?
I had an urge for New Year's. I did chocolate chip cheesecake. It's the Eagle brand sweetened condensed milk. Super easy recipe, makes a huge cheesecake. Very decadent.
You said chocolate chips and my ears just went like
Yeah.
this.
Yeah. It's
All
but
right.
it's it's very simple number of ingredients. It's very rich.
Yeah.
But it's a super recipe. So the Eagles sweetened condensed milk recipe.
All right.
Okay, thanks.
With
We
that,
will-
I love cheesecakes.
we'll do it. Are we gonna make our own crust?
Yeah, we're gonna make our own everything. So next week, cheesecake.
Okay.
It's
Okay,
on.
All right.
It's on.
all right, thank
All
you.
right.
Becca.
Thank you.
All right.
Great to see you. Welcome back. And I look forward to seeing you in Pilates today.
Okay.
Okay.
Thanks so
Thank
much.
you.
Say hi to everyone.
Bye.
Happy
Bye.
New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year.
Bye.